So itchy skin and allergies in dogs and cats might be the most common reason that people contact me. In fact, I think it's the most common reason people go to any regular, normal neighborhood vet is itchy skin and allergies. And usually in these appointments, whether it's holistic like me or the regular neighborhood veterinarian, most people are also in those appointments talking about how their dog has anxiety issues. Now, they don't usually make an appointment for anxiety, but while they're in there for the itching and scratching, they're like, my dog has really bad anxiety also. Well, I've noticed that the anxiety is a reason why the dogs are itching and scratching and licking so much. And I've noticed, I think humans are a big part of the pet's anxiety problem. So I see dogs all the time who are chewing at their forearms or licking their wrists. They're scratching, licking their bodies. Some of these dogs will immediately scratch at their sides with their back leg when they're barking or just stimulated in some way. Or you tell them to stop barking and they immediately start scratching and itching. Stressed and anxious cats will overgroom to lick all the fur off their belly. Well, it's a neurology problem in a way, but it's not neurology the way that modern Western medicine explains neurology. It's neurology in the way that chiropractors explain neurology. So dogs scratch and lick and itch oftentimes not because they're itchy, sometimes that's the case, but oftentimes because they're trying to calm their nerves. This scratching and itching is an input or a distraction that helps calm their anxious mind. So this is just like a girl playing with her hair, or someone wringing their hands doing a lot of this stuff, a big man chewing on his tongue as he focuses on a task. These are all versions of parasympathetic nervous system input, which directly counteracts or cancels out the sympathetic nervous system overdrive that most people and pets are in. So this is the same as the perfect balance of the yin and the yang symbol in traditional Chinese medicine. These two things, the yin and the yang, perfectly counterbalance and counteract and keep each other in constant control going round and round and round. And that's exactly what the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems are supposed to do with each other. You've heard of these. The sympathetic nervous system is adrenaline, adrenal glands, epinephrine, cortisol, stress hormones, the fight or flight response. And the parasympathetic is the opposite of that. It's rest and digest. It's repair, recovery. And these are things that are really important for your long-term health. So stress and anxiety keep the sympathetic nervous system kind of running overtime, which prevents the parasympathetic rest and digest from doing its job. This means that anxiety will suppress digestion. If anxiety, sympathetic nervous system overrides parasympathetic nervous system, it impedes or slows or disrupts digestion. Just like people, you notice when you're stressed, you have GI issues. Same thing. Well, this becomes a vicious self-perpetuating cycle, because if your digestion's not right, then your gut microbiome bacteria is not right. And if that's out of balance, that can cause some mental imbalances, which can cause more anxiety, which further fuels this whole process. Well, if you go to the vet, they're going to try to get your pet anti-anxiety drugs, or you're going to try something natural like CBD oil or something. Those are not the solution. Training is not the solution. Food is an important factor, but it's the foundation. Food can't fix this alone. The solution for these anxious pets and for their anxiety causing them to be even more itchy, they need better humans. They need better humans. But sadly, most of us in modern Western industrial society are not properly balanced or emotionally stable. We're stressed and we're reactive also. So there's an essay published in 1995 about industrial society that explains this perfectly. And the synopsis is, because we have no significant purpose in our daily lives as humans, we end up being unsatisfied and unfulfilled and unhappy, and we're always seeking something to make us more fulfilled. Well, since we don't have the pride, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that comes from building your own house and shelter, or collecting your own water, or building your own garden and fence, or growing your own vegetables, or cutting your own firewood, whatever. So how does this affect the anxiety that causes the itching in our dogs? Well, dogs read the human's body language. Dogs learn from watching and reading body language and postures and stuff, and all the subtle cues that we're giving all day long through our body language and emotions that we as humans don't notice that much anymore. So the dogs see us all day through our behaviors and our body language that we're not confident and that we're not happy. and the dogs learn to feel that way with us. So how can we ever expect to have well-adjusted, confident, anxiety-free pets if we ourselves are not content and lacking confidence every time we're around our dogs? So aside from the real food and digestion health that I talk about all the time, these dogs need better humans. Well, that's almost impossible in the modern world, but you can learn a little bit more about that. If you want to better understand why the humans are such an emotional mess, that's discussed, or at least introduced, in the videos numbered 1 through 5 on my Industrial Society channel over on Rumble. Thanks.